All right, this seems to be taking a moment. It says it's being live streamed. Okay. Oh my goodness, we are live, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? Yay! I am back. It's been a while, huh? I am Pamela with Business Concepts Accelerated. In just one moment, I'll get us all set up here. I need to take it off my YouTube feed, off my screen, so that I can just have the screen of the, all right, take that off now. There we go. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everybody. I am Pamela. I'm with Business Concepts Accelerated, and I am super excited to be back. It's been a little while since I have been on the channel, YouTube, and this is where we have the opportunity to meet and greet with our CEOs who do business globally. And it is in complements with the company Business Concepts Accelerated. And what we do is we support CEOs and founders who are, striving to do what it is they do. And we just want to see you succeed. So I am super excited to be here. And I am really super excited to bring forth our guests tonight. Tonight we're to be speaking with Erika Enyolu, and she is better known as the PR Diva. And this is something that is our third pillar of our company. We are, and I'm going to explain a little bit about that a little bit later, just in a second. So, but first I want to make sure you stick around to see and meet Erika. She also recently has quite a story to tell in regards to her journey in losing 80 pounds through the ketogenics. And so she is an expert in regards to keto as well. I'm going to learn something new, and I hope you do too. So please stick around for that. But first, I like to always take a moment and share a little bit about who we are, what we do, so that you know why you should really subscribe to this channel and why we want to make sure that you are well served by BCA. So again, my name is Pamela, and I am the CEO and founder of Business Concepts Accelerated, where we accelerate your business. And that also, we coined that as BCA. So thank you again for joining me on our YouTube channel as we look at BCA chats. All right, so secondly, I want to make sure that you know that our vision in regards to this company and how we serve, why we serve, and what we do is to support you. That is my passion. My passion is to support business owners and to help you to further, to really just to remove the roadblocks in business so that you can further do what it is you were here, set on this earth to do, your passion. If you're able to live your passion and really, really serve and wake up every day doing what it is you do, then you don't mind, working in a 50, 60-hour a week job because it's your job. It's your passion. You are serving your own purpose. And oh my, what a blessing that is. So my vision, my purpose, my passion is to serve you in that manner. How do we do that, and how did I come to be? I came to be because I was a managing director for a national business women's professional network, and that enabled me the opportunity to meet and greet business owners from in the Atlanta area. And we were able to, really just make those connections. So making connections and those warm introductions with CEOs, with someone who can help to remove those barriers was really, that became a really strong sense for me and gave me great gratitude and joy to be able to be the catalyst that helps someone to further their purpose by removing by removing that barrier. And so one day, really, this was really pre-COVID, I was looking around and I happened to see that I had these expert resources in my stratosphere and I wanted to make those connections. And so pre-COVID, we did that. We made these awesome connections, and with an actual event where we did this one-on-one private meetings, and you got a chance to meet and greet these experts. And so from there, COVID happened. I had to cancel all this, and we had our first event this past Sunday. Hey, Erika, I know she's joined us by now, but I want to just finish up this one thought and then we'll jump right in. And so this past Saturday, we were able to have our first event post-COVID, or since COVID. We're not out of it yet, as we know, but that was us being able to serve with our pillars, being marketing, branding, public relations, and strategy. Strategy being capital. So Erika tonight will serve our third pillar, being public relations. All of these pillars being so pivotal in a business, because you've got to look at each of them. But that this past weekend, when we were able to make those connections, we brought 35 founders to the table with 9 investors. And in fact, 2 of those angel investors were able to give verbal funding avenues to founders, and the others are ongoing conversations with VCs. So we will continue that event where we're able to make those connections and those matches with our expert resources and founders, and make sure that you all have the opportunity to have the perfect person in front of you where you can talk, have that conversation to move those barriers out your way in business. So with that said, I am super excited to welcome Ms. Erika Enyolu, the PR Diva. Good afternoon, how are you? All right, Erika, are you there? Can you hear me? Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's like I'm on Clubhouse. I forgot to unmute my mic. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you. I'm so happy to have you here with me tonight. Welcome. And how are you today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm so excited to finally be on your show. It's a pleasure, and I'm honored to be here to share some PR and some entrepreneurship and some wellness tips and gems today. So it's a pleasure, Pamela. You're such an amazing person, and I'm honored to be on your show.
Oh my goodness, you're amazing. Now, Erika is an acclaimed PR guru, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and keto lifestyle expert. She's the PR diva, and she is the CEO and founder of PR Diva Communications, an entertainment and lifestyle public relations agency based out of Toronto, Canada. And I'm super excited to have you here with us tonight. So with that said, let's jump right in.
Yes, let's go. Hello, everybody tuning in wherever you are in the world. I'm excited to be here. And hello to all my friends and family in Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now, before I get started, do you ever come to Atlanta? Have you been here before?
Yes, it's actually funny. I have some things in my, in my treasure box. I have to talk about it later, maybe off air, but I love Atlanta. I was there last in 2019, pre-pandemic. I think it was March, April. I was at the BET Social Awards at the Tyler Perry Studios. That was the last time I was there.
Yes.
So it was a great opportunity to be there and cover the event and be there on behalf of my client at the time, AfroB. So it's been I love Atlanta. Like, Atlanta's home, and I love it. I love it there.
Awesome. I didn't realize you had relatives and people here. So I remember that event, in fact, because I remember just these great pictures of all the celebrities and everyone who came. And, I was not there, but I do remember it, and it was a super event. So I'm so excited you may be coming back, and I look forward to meeting you face to face.
Hopefully soon, when they let these borders open up for, non-essential things.
Yes. Okay. So I want to know How, in fact, would you describe the value of public relations as if you were speaking to a 5-year-old? I mean, let's get just granular about this. How would you explain public relations?
Okay, so in a nutshell, and this is like a really simplified version, in general, whether you're an adult or a child, public relations is a process where we're telling your story and putting it up to the public through publicity stunts, through publicity campaigns, through media relations. If you are a person, brand, business, everybody has a story to tell. And as publicists, you hire public relations agencies, publicists like myself, to tell your story, to share it with your community, to share it with the world, and to get whatever you have happening, whether you're launching something new or you're a new business or you're doing something really impactful to benefit the community, you hire us to tell your stories to get that media exposure. And this helps to build you credibility, and you can get brand ambassadorships and deals and potential clients. And it's a really, really great process. And we do PR literally every single day. A lot of people don't realize that, you have like your parents and like, oh, you have children, and you tell your neighbor, oh, my son just graduated college or just got accepted in. You're promoting literally that person, letting people know. That's kind of a form of PR, and there's different examples of public relations, whether it is getting access to like speaking events, getting maybe judging opportunities, going to award shows, walking the red carpet, winning awards. There's different things that you can do, working with charities to help, get positive publicity for your brand, because the goal is positive publicity. People want to see the good in what you're doing and the value of what you're doing. And when I'm talking to children, especially like a 5-year-old, I would make it very simplified. I would say, little Johnny here, Johnny loves to draw, for instance. He's 5 years old. He loves to draw with colored pencils and crayons. And he's drawing like maybe he likes to use pieces of papers to draw unique photos, for instance, and he's very creative in that nature. And then I would tell him, you're really good at drawing, Johnny. You love to draw these pictures. Or maybe he's really good at dancing, and it's something that he likes to do. And maybe people recognize him, like his family, his friends recognize him. And I'm going to tell Johnny at 5 years old, tell more people, tell your friends, go to school, show off your work that you do. And by you doing that, you're telling your story of what you love and what you're doing good at. And then I would also tell him, the more people that know your story, that you tell about the goodness that you're doing with your artwork or through your dancing, this could lead to you being on TV. So you could see yourself on the big screen, or you could be interviewed to talk about your drawings or talk about your dancing, maybe on the radio. And this could lead for other opportunities for you to get, more of the world to know of the impact of what you're doing. And by you doing that, you're going to influence all your other students and classmates and friends and family to do more things and to have them share their stories as well. So that's like a simplified version of what I would tell a young child or anybody that wants to know what PR is.
That is absolutely brilliant. And that's why it's one of the pillars of how we support CEOs, because marketing, branding, public relations, that is so important. And every CEO should have that carved out, or a plan or a thought, so that they can bring in people like you to help amplify their story, their brand, how they serve the market, and make sure that it's cool. So I just love that, and it's so important. So I know that you are specifically known as the PR diva with your entertainment and lifestyle public relations firm, with awards and accolades to precede your name. But what have you done what has been your strategy really to build your own brand?
There's been a lot of strategies, and believe it or not, I didn't do the traditional way. For those that don't know, on top of being an award-winning serial entrepreneur doing PR, I have my hats in various places. I have my hands in various places. And, I never started with a traditional business plan. I know that sounds taboo, but I'm being honest. I didn't do a traditional business plan. I was actually a marketing manager, and I was working in this executive role back in 2014, 2015. So a few years back, and I was working with one of the biggest engineering companies in North America at the time. And, it was such a great opportunity. I was getting a pretty good salary, but again, I was dealing with a lot of adversity, being a Black woman, woman of color, a Black woman, having ambition. And, I guess I dealt with a lot of criticism at my office, just, trying to have a voice and speak out on myself. And I decided to quit my job to become an entrepreneur. And, having a business mentor was really, really important. I had the support of my then boss at the time, because she said I was overqualified for the manager role. She's like, I don't know why you don't just start your own agency. So I had her support. Shout out to her. Yes. I also have a business mentor, still a great friend to this day, and business mentor and business colleague. And, he was really there to motivate me and push me to start. And, unfortunately, I didn't have any PR mentors at the time. I had this entrepreneurship mentor, but not in public relations. So I literally self-taught myself. And I do have a degree in communication and media studies. So I did use that background. That definitely did help a lot. And also all of my lived experiences, all my internships, my volunteer work, my marketing managerial experience, my media experience. I used to freelance for a lot of award shows like the Juno Awards, which is equivalent to the Canadian Grammy Awards here in Canada. I also worked with the NAACP Image Awards. So I was really yes, I worked some festivals and concerts. I was even a background actress. I just got my hands in the entertainment industry and was a sponge and soaked up everything and used all of these experiences to be the successful entrepreneur and entertainment publicist I am today. I had to create opportunities for myself, and I would research strategies. I would learn how to, I was already a great writer. So I do like press release writing. I created media kits. I was really self-taught with a lot of the skills on top of the education and my lived experiences to build my business.
Excellent. All right. So tell me a little bit in regards to any recent or just PR campaigns, some of your favorites that you've done over the years and or recent. However, just tell us some that really stood out to you and why.
Really good question. That's a really hard question though, because there's so many campaigns. But I could say one that really sticks out was my recent one prior to the pandemic in 2019, February of 2019. I worked with, this is the song of the summer, WizKid. Shout out to WizKid, the Stonebwoy himself and his team. The promoters here in Toronto did his first Canadian concert in over a decade. And my agency, PR Diva Communications, was hired to oversee all the public relations efforts. So that means I worked on all the contesting for his show, promotion of the ticket sales, doing press campaigns. I also am the agency that managed and oversee and organized his official press conference. The last press conference he did in Canada was probably 10 years ago, maybe even in North America. So I'm fortunate to say that my agency did that. And it was a really great opportunity. We were trending on Twitter because of this press conference. I invited all the media there, some big name media, some local media, some photographers, videographers, bloggers, you name it, they were there. I have international media in Nigeria and Ghana covering this event. I was a spokesperson for them. And yeah, we were trending on Twitter. We had a lot, his concert obviously sold out. And, this is a campaign that was so amazing because I just got to really trust God and trust my expertise and trust my network to fulfill this. And this was before the WizKid, this was just like 3-4 years ago. Now he's like signed with Live Nation and doing big deals and getting sold out in minutes.
Because of you.
Well, it takes people like us, like we all, like I'm giving him all the credit. I'm so proud of him. He's a Grammy award-winning artist and he's a superstar. And now things that we did years ago, these are things that help, we're building new audiences for him, new listeners for him through these PR strategies. So that was really, really a big milestone in my career because knowing how big he is now, it just makes me feel so good that I was actually a part of his journey in the past. In even though it was a one event, it was still something so big and monumental for my career. So it was a really great pleasure to work with him and his team. And he's come back to Toronto in January, and I hope I'm going to be back working with them again, God willing.
Great. And you're right. I mean, that was a matter of strategy. You thought through the strategy to implement what it is that you put in place to amplify him, and you reap the rewards in regards to the publicity and everything that you got from that. So it didn't just happen. You made it happen.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So that was definitely, and I also did press for AfroB, Joanna. Shout out to AfroB and his team. He's amazing. I actually reached out to him via DM on Instagram, and this is the power of social media. I was actually a real big fan when Joanna came out back in 2018, and I noticed he promoted that he's going to be in New York. A company in Canada, great team. Shout out to them. They actually brought him to Toronto to do a show to perform that song. And that's actually where I actually met him in person. But prior to that, I did DM him just to build that rapport with him and that relationship. And then I said, when I'm in Toronto, I'm going to check you, let's talk, and we kind of just had a great relationship just through Instagram DMs, text messaging. And then when he was heading to New York, Funkmaster Flex, a really big DJ out there, part of the Hot 97 crew, had him for a show. And I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, do you need press? He's like, sure, why not? Like, he already had press booked, but he hired my agency with his management team to do his rollout. Wow. So this was during New York Fashion Week as well. So there was a lot of opportunities there. And I reached out to some big name companies. Like he was on NBC News, one of the first Afrobeat artists to ever be featured on, mainstream news back in New York. This was NBC News. So we were at the Fox studios, you name it. He was booked with Vibe magazine, which is a very big African-American hip hop urban magazine. I got him the cover of a magazine. I got him some brand ambassadorship deals with some apparel brands. And a lot of other media he garnered during that through his efforts and as well in combination with my agency's efforts. He also was #1 Shazammed in New York at that time during his rollout when we went to New York. So again, PR is so important. Getting all these radio stations, connected, TV stations playing his music. People were starting to hear it on their airwaves, and it really got a lot of traction. And that was another campaign that I was so honored to be a part of with him. And then the best part, he hired me as well when he came to Toronto to cover his press when he came out here. Oh, excellent. And we also got him into BET as well. His first placement.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I imagine you do think in 360. I mean, you think about, all angles of how to get that exposure for your clients. Yep. And that is where PR really does, matter. It matters in a business for you to amplify not only that, but all of the various angles as to where I can, have that exposure to extend it to the world, especially as we're talking and as we talk to global people who are doing business globally. This is something that is just so pivotal in a business and helping you grow into scaling your business to that next level. So I can certainly see the value. Certainly see the value. So I think that, I think it's obvious, but just to make sure from your point of view, how is PR different from advertising?
Okay, that's a really, really great question. And I think it's so important when we break down advertising and PR. It's very different. A lot of people confuse marketing as well and it's different. So with PR, public relations is earned press. So for instance, like AfroBeat, WizKid, they're already doing great numbers on YouTube. Their songs are viral. They're all over the place. They have a fan base. Getting earned press for them is really, really easy. Advertising is where you're paying for press. You're paying for the media to get you featured. So a lot of clients reach out to me. They always ask, should I get advertising? Should I do earned media? What happens though, the difference is with advertising, it's very costly, where publicity is more cost efficient. Depending on the agency, everybody charges different based off their retainers, but that's one of the biggest differences is the cost. And again, the earned media compared to the paid media as well. I would say another good difference is with press and PR, it's like you're building that trust from, the community, from the media outlets, and with I guess advertising, you're just building more exposure. People know a lot of times too, they'll say ad or sponsored posts. So people know that you pretty much paid for this, where it's more of a genuine, authentic touch. And that narrative is better when it's a press mention, because you can tell that the editor, the journalist really wanted to write about this person, because they think what you're doing, your brand, whatever you're doing, it's innovative, it's different, it stands out. Maybe you're doing things to impact the community. So those are how those two look different. And I definitely encourage a lot of people to do press, but sometimes maybe something that you have isn't really newsworthy and you just want to get the word out, then that's when I recommend people to do advertising. I also do manage advertising for some brands, but my main focus is the publicity. Also with advertising, you're guaranteeing results because you're paying to make sure you are featured of whatever your narrative is being featured. With press, it's not guaranteed. So some people get hesitant about that, but it's the name of the game. You know, as publicists, we try our best to build relationships with multiple media channels to get you featured, you know, but we cannot guarantee it. Also, we can't guarantee the narrative after your interview, what the media will publish, or when you're doing advertising, because you're paying to guarantee that ad getting put out about your business, you have more control over the messaging.
Wow, such great information that you're passing along to those who, you know, have not, I don't think, especially in startups and in the younger companies, and probably even some of the bigger companies, they've not really factored in PR into their plans, into their marketing plans. And it really is a segment that should have its own place in your annual, your quarterly, however frequently you look at your plans. It needs to have its own space, its own place in a strategy. So that's, you know, really what you're talking about. You know, so some of the advantages or disadvantages in appointing a PR agency or consultancy. You know, do you work with companies, I guess, just as they retain you, or, you know, how do you work with various companies? And does it matter if it's a small company or large, or kind of how do you work with your clients?
Okay, so this is a good question. It's twofold. You know, I like to tell clients, like, do you even need PR? And I actually believe everybody does need PR. Everybody wants to know who you are. People, if you really want to target different audiences, depending on what your more on your brand identity and really where you want to go. Some people, I've actually talked to clients where I can do a great big press roller for you, but they don't want to go too big. They're very limited. They want to go from having 5 clients to maybe 20 clients, and they're okay with that. Or some want thousands of clients. So it depends where you are at with your brand, but do you have something that is worth telling a story about? I believe everybody has a story. I do my best to dig deep and find out your unique story to make it newsworthy so people would want to talk about you, to get that earned press for you. But I feel with people, like, you know, there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages with PR agencies. And I think the number one that it could be, the biggest thing is it could be cost efficient compared to advertising, but it also could cost more, because some agencies, just like lawyers, you kind of have the same template where we charge a retainer fee just to put you on our client list, you know, before doing anything. And then you pay like a monthly, that retainer, and then a monthly fee based off our hours or based off how big the agency is. There was a time when I had full staff working with me, freelancers working with me, I charge more. When I do things independently, I charge less. I had to pivot a lot during the pandemic, but it did fluctuate. But there's some people that have the agencies, they have the offices, they have a whole bunch of account managers there and publicists working, and you could pay thousands, 6 figures just to have good press. So that's probably the thing that could be hesitant. The difference as well, I could say, is that it is good because with press agencies, we have relationships. Part of my job is I always say your network is your network. Your network is your net worth. Right. So I say that, especially in PR, is we have to build relationships with journalists, editors, media spokespersons, you name it. Key players in this. For me, my niche is entertainment. So in the entertainment industry, you know, finding out all the award shows and the directors working and the creative directors and you name it, I'm building relationships so that way you don't have to. So when you're my client, I could just forward you off to, these brands or get you affiliated.
Yes.
We're like the dot connectors, where you as the brand, you don't have time to build all those relationships because you're so focused on building your empire and your brand. You don't have time to do the small talk. So we do that for you. But I would say that that's one thing that we focus on. I also feel that when we get a press story featured, there's potential for other media to pick that up. You see that all the time. Sometimes you'll see like an article and you'll see like 100 other media picked it up because it was a news breaking story. Whereas if you try to do that on your own as a brand, it's really, really hard to do that. And I always tell brands, like, you can't do it all. You see burnout all the time with entrepreneurs and brands and individuals that they try to do everything. They try to do their social media. They try to do their own PR. They try to do their brand, do their stuff.
Exhausting.
You know it, girl.
Hire the experts.
Yes, hire the experts so you can focus on building your brand and being creative with that. That way you have your team to do everything else. So you're not burnt out. And that's the benefit of having a press outlet, having a PR agency work with press to get you exposed. And as well, there's so much opportunities that come with having your agency. We have relationships with award show brands where we could get you nominated now for awards. People, when we reach out to brands on your behalf, you look more polished, you look more credible. It shows that you have that budget. You hired someone to manage your press. Media experts look at that and they respect that, as opposed to sometimes when you're the brand trying to reach out, they have hundreds of brands pitching them. We create a pitch and a narrative that makes sense for these editors to write about you. So I would say those are some of the big positives and advantages of hiring an agency, but the negatives definitely can be with the cost as well. I would say another negative, there's really not that much negative. It's hard for me to talk about the disadvantages.
Well, I think, if someone is, if they have something coming up, or even, there may be a season of your business where it makes sense to ramp up. You have something coming up, 6 months from now, it makes sense that first 3 months to engage someone like you to really kind of be ramped up so that the momentum goes, so that momentum is really created. You are creating that momentum for my brand to be, really be positioned to explode. And so I think people and business owners really need to leverage, those relationships like what you just described, in media and all of the things, especially. And I love how you have your niche that is, that is what
it wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like that, Pam. But yes, now I evolved into that, because before I was just taking clients every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I was taking it and I realized like I was getting burnt out. I didn't enjoy it. And then I found my passion is with entertainment, with the artists, the musicians, the athletes, the celebrities. I do work with minimal corporate brands, but I definitely have my niche, which is entertainment and also the lifestyle sector. I work with fashion designers. I'm working now in the keto space. You have to find out what you like, and it's okay because your niche does change. But in the beginning, like if a funeral director reached out to me and like, hey, we want to get some press, I would say no, because it doesn't fit. Even though it could be technically part of the lifestyle sector, it just doesn't fit with my narrative of what I want for my business. So I think as fellow publicists listening, find your niche. And if you are a brand looking for a publicist, it's very important, or a PR agency, look at their niche, look at their testimonies, look at their portfolio, research them. Just as much as we want to work with you, you need to know that you're confident working with us, because you have to make sure we're a good fit. See if they offer a complimentary discovery call. These are the strategies that you need to do where you can have a really good and healthy relationship with your PR agency of choice.
Yes, so important, so important. Okay, well, let's switch gears. I hope that everyone out there that's listening takes the opportunity. And I know that you work I'm sure you work throughout the United States as well as Canada and Nigeria. So you're truly international.
Yes. Definitely. I work for everywhere. Even I have clients right now that are in West Africa, in Nigeria and Ghana. I'm doing some press for them. So I literally work, and the best part is I'm able to work virtually. A lot of my work is remotely. All I need is my cell phone and my laptop, and I'm good to go.
Right. Yep. Relationships across the globe. I love it. All right. So again, let's just switch gears. And I know keto is hugely a part of your life, and you've talked a little bit about the weight loss that you've been able to really win at. I mean, you just killed it. You crushed it. So what brought you to this solution for your lifestyle change?
Whew, this can be really deep, and I try not to get emotional, but I was overweight all of my life, and it's crazy because I'm in the entertainment world. There's a lot of pressure for image as a woman, especially for self-esteem issues, to look a certain way. And I was driving myself, God forbid, to an early grave. I was eating toxic. I didn't cook. I was an Uber Eats queen. I like to say I was always ordering out because my days were so exhausting. As a serial entrepreneur, I'm running events, I'm managing events, I'm overseeing clients, I'm producing events. I'm traveling. I had no time for myself. I prioritized my clients and everybody else except for me and my needs. And I was living this pattern for many years as an entrepreneur, trying to figure it out. And I got very, very unhealthy from that. I went into a place certain times where I was depressed. I had anxiety. I had a condition that stopped my menstrual cycle. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. At one point in my life, I was pre-diabetic. So I went through a lot. And a lot of this was because of my diet. I love to eat out. I'm a foodie at heart. So, I come from, I'm Canadian born, but my parents are Nigerian. So shout out to Team Nigeria watching. And, I love showcasing my roots. And, the foods in this lifestyle, the traditional foods, they're very high carbs. And with keto, it's a low carb diet. So again, for those that don't know, the keto diet stands for pretty much ketosis. This is a state where your body produces ketones and it starts to burn, it starts to fuel its body using your fat as opposed to using carbs, which traditionally most of our diets are high carb diets. Carbs and sugars, added sugars are in a lot of foods we eat. So by lowering your carbohydrate intake and by eating moderate protein and higher fats, and when I say fats, people kind of get like, what? But like clean fats, you put your body into a state of ketosis, which helps to give a lot of pressure off of your insulin levels. So a lot of people with this lifestyle have insulin sensitivity, but they're able to reverse it because of lowering the carbs and not spiking your insulin levels up anymore. And, I reversed a lot of my symptoms. Not only did I reverse symptoms, I lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight very quickly, 80 pounds in a year during the peak of the pandemic. And it was kind of great to have, in a way, even though the pandemic is such an unfortunate time we're in, people like myself, I took time to really elevate my mental, my health, work on my relationship with food. I'm a recovering carb addict because I was addicted to a lot of these foods that are so processed and eating out. I taught myself how to cook, and I'm an amazing chef. I was featured on a TV, online YouTube cooking show with some spices. And I just love cooking now. I love this lifestyle because not only do I look better, I feel a lot better.
So you talk a little bit about, getting into that ketosis and, I guess, how do you know when you're there? How do you know that you have arrived, I guess, in regards to getting to that status? Just a little bit more about that. You've touched on it, I think, but I want to know, because it's something that I am truly considering. I have no choice. I really need to figure this out. I need to figure out this tummy, this COVID tummy. And I think it's going to be the choice that I'm going to make too. And I've got it in my mind. So please, just how do I know, that I've arrived?
Great question. And yes, come on to the keto size. We got you. Come on over. How you know when you're in ketosis, there's a lot of ways you can, not too many ways, but enough where you can check. And again, I'm not a keto coach. I'm an aspiring keto coach, but I'm a keto enthusiast. I love keto, and I really self-taught myself on getting my body into it. I downloaded an app to find out my macros so I could figure out based off my age, my weight, and my height, exactly how many carbs, how many fats, and proteins I should eat a day, and calories a day. And I just followed that on the app. And when you know your body's in ketosis, there are ketone strips you can buy like anywhere, any health nutrition store, maybe on Amazon. You can get, they're called ketone strips or ketone urine strips, where you can check to see if your body's in ketosis. It usually takes roughly minimum of 12 hours to 24 hours to find out if your body's in ketosis. Some people it takes them a few days. But once you start lowering your carbs, your body will naturally, because especially when your body, like me, I was eating like thousands of carbs on average a day without realizing it. And then when I started calculating my macros, I dropped my carbs drastically to 20 grams of carbs a day. And right away, I was seeing amazing results. And I knew I was in ketosis because of how I felt. Also, there's symptoms, maybe like keto breath. You might smell like fruity breath. You might smell things differently. You might notice that. You can also check by weighing yourself. That's a really obviously tool. I was down 3-4 pounds in my first week. So I realized, okay, this is working. After the last 6 months of me trying different lifestyles and diets, I lost no weight, but on first week of keto, not only did I get a menstrual cycle, it returned after months of it being absent. I also, was able to lose weight. You can also do your measurements and you'll notice you might have lost some water weight. You might seem like you've lost some inches. And also a lot of people do, I didn't do this, but you can get a ketone blood monitor, kind of like the insulin test when they tap your finger. You can do something similar like that. There's a lot of them on the market, and you can test your blood glucose levels to see if your body's in ketosis as well. So there's a lot of different ways you can check.
Wow, that's really interesting. And does that into sleep as well? And that breaking your fast and all that kind of, is that kind of in that same area? Do you utilize those strategies as well?
No, surprisingly, I didn't do any fasting on my keto journey when I initially started, but a lot of amazing people in the keto community do they introduce the intermittent fasting while they're doing a keto lifestyle. Some people even do something called OMAD, which is the acronym for 1 meal a day, where they eat literally a keto meal during 1 hour to a 1 to 4 hour window. They eat and then they don't eat anything else, and their body's in a fasted state. This leads to autophagy. And when you do that, you're really, really cleansing your body, and you're detoxifying your body, you're building new cells, and your body's in a fasted state and gets into ketosis even quicker with the fasting, which helps you to speed up the weight loss. Again, I didn't personally do that. I was able to lose 50, 60 in my first 5-6 months without fasting. I was eating, I would say, within a 10, 12 hour window, but I do see people have quicker results when they eat in a fasted state, but I personally didn't do that.
Wow. I mean, you must be so proud of yourself. I tell you, I mean, how did you feel when you jumped on the scale and as that weight was coming off and you're like, I'm going to keep going? I'm sure that was motivation to just keep going and going and,
Honestly, God is so good all the time. All the time, God is good. And it was hard because I struggled for 2 decades. This was going on my 3rd decade of life, because when I was like 8, 9 years old, a child, I was already battling with self-esteem issues, weight issues. I was addicted to sugar and goodies, and I didn't realize it. And I was just starting to pack on the weight. And then I would go on a lifestyle, like a quick regimen or a diet, and it would be short-lived because I felt like I could literally feel I was on a diet. Like I was eating less and not eating the way I do on keto. And then whenever I lost the weight, I would just end up literally weeks, months later, gain it all plus some. So I would yo-yo diet, and then doing that repeatedly, it puts a toll on your emotions, on your mental, on your physical. It's a lot of stress on the body. And I was doing this a lot for years, but with keto, I realized it was a food issue that I had. I realized I had gluten intolerances and a really bad lactose intolerant. And I realized I was allergic to carbohydrates. Like these carbs I was eating that I thought were even healthy for me, like certain fruits, they trigger my insulin response. They trigger my body. They spike my insulin levels up. So when I remove these items, I feel so much better. And when I went on that scale, I was just like in disbelief, because it literally, the weight, it just came off so quickly. I couldn't even catch up with it. It just happened so quick. And I just said, this is going to be my lifestyle. I said, once I do this, this is I always used to pray to God, like, what is the magic pill to losing weight? And for me, it is the keto lifestyle and living low carb. And I'm just so honored and so happy. And I shout out to my friends that they were on keto before I used to judge the diet. I didn't think it was serious. And then I tried it for myself, and then the rest is history.
Wow. I just think this relates to so many people. I think so many people will connect to this story, and because I know they have these same struggles. I have the weight, I have, I'm making the decision, to make these changes, and I'm going to really look more into this and visit you on Clubhouse, where you're you run these amazing rooms about, keto and the lifestyle and just being healthy. Tell us a little bit about your rooms on Clubhouse for those who are on Clubhouse.
Yes. Thank you for that. So I am the founder of the Keto Diet Club. This is a club that talks all about this lifestyle, about this diet. We are officially the largest keto club on the app. We're the second approved keto club on the app, but we're the largest. We have 18,000 community. So crazy since January. So it's been an amazing blessing to help build this community with amazing keto coaches, keto enthusiasts. We have low carb and keto physicians on there. We have wellness practitioners, personal trainers, mindset coaches, you name it. They're a part of this community, and they help do rooms in this space to help educate and entertain and give gems and values to those that are learning this lifestyle or living this lifestyle. And this diet is it is the number one most Googled diet in 2020. And I believe it's going to be the same thing here in 2021. And the club has been growing, and there's hundreds of keto clubs now on the app. And, I just tell everybody, join all of these communities, definitely join mine, and, learn about the keto lifestyle. Learn for lived experiences. People like myself, I talk about tips of what I did to lose the weight. We have thousands of others that talk about daily about what they've done to lose weight or just to improve inflammation, reverse diseases. We have an amazing keto creator there. Started on the app in January of this year on Clubhouse. Type 2 diabetic for a decade. Was on medication, got rid of his medication a month in while on keto. Within his 5-6 months, he just celebrated. Now his A1C levels are normalized. He's no longer diabetic. On Clubhouse live through doing this lifestyle. And there's going to be hundreds of others lives that are going to be changed because of this way of living. Even for me, my PCOS symptoms, I was able to reverse them by living this lifestyle. And I think I love the lifestyle because not only it's a diet, you want it to become a lifestyle because of the improvements. A lot of people go there for health reasons, for better sleep, to clear their skin, for inflammation, to get their diseases reversed. This is a lifestyle that people really need to get the research on. And I do commend, before starting any regimen, to make sure if it's right for you, definitely contact your practitioner or health coach to see if it's right for you.
I will. I got to figure out, those first steps, and I'm just doing research now, just starting and listening to you in your rooms and things of that nature to really try to get myself in that nature. But I'm not happy, where I am. I don't, feel great about myself in my look at when I look in the mirror. So I have got to do something, especially approaching, the age that I am. I don't have a choice. That's what my doctor said. You don't have a choice. So I really have to figure it out. And this, I think, is the perfect way. And I love how you say, once you really dive in, the weight just kind of fell off. I mean, it just was like, it happened so fast because you're doing things the right way. So I am really super excited about the journey that's to come for me. And I know that I'm celebrating you and your journey.
I'm so happy for you. I'm here to support you all through your journey, and you're going to do amazing. And we're so used to eating a different way. Like keto is one of those things that, why didn't I know about this earlier? This diet is from the 20s. It was actually a physician in the 1920s that, they introduced this lifestyle. They were actually curing children and adults with epilepsy to control their seizures. This is all scientific evidence online. You can research it. In the 20s, they had this lifestyle, and it was the ketogenic diet. And it's been very, some people in the Keto Club, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, they've been on keto and they're completely fine. And what they do is they made it into a lifestyle. They eat lower carbs. They get rid of a lot of the wheats, the processed foods, and you're eating a lot of whole foods, and you're sticking to eating a moderate lifestyle. And honestly, it is sustainable because I like my soul food. I'm West African. So, I have my Nigerian dishes. I just make sure I keto-fy them. I change my ingredients to make it sustainable for me so I can still live this lifestyle.
Excellent, excellent. So I can still have, a carb every now and then. It's not like I can't ever have another French fry in my life.
No, and this is the thing, keto, people think you can't have carbs, you lower your carbohydrate intake. But the funny thing is there's certain carbs that I know when I tried eating them, my body can't even handle it. Like it just doesn't, there's no worth. Like I had literally Popeye's French fries, my 6-month anniversary on keto, and my stomach felt like a rock. And I said, absolutely not. I think I got kicked out of ketosis and I plateaued for 2 months. I mean, I plateaued for 2 weeks, sorry. And it made me realize, was those 6-8 fries worth it? And you can make keto fries. You can make keto fries.
Okay.
And you can make them taste just like Popeye.
Flour or something.
You could use almond flour, or you can use coconut flour or lupin flour to make a keto version of French fries. And that's what I'm saying. Literally, it's not worth it because those the starches, they're just really not good for people that are living a low carb lifestyle, because it can kick you out of ketosis, and also it just doesn't feel good. It takes long for our body to break it down. So I substitute literally everything, and I eat a wide array of foods. If you go on my Instagram, guys, I eat so many different delicacies and dishes. I just make sure I use different ingredients so my body can tolerate them. So if I can do it, you're going to do it too, Pamela.
Awesome. Man, I could talk to you about that all day. That is so exciting to me. So I'm super excited. I hope our audience is really have a great, these great takeaways that you're leaving with us today. And it's just, it's something really to really think about. So thank you again for all of that share. So we've talked in depth in regards to public relations and keto. Is there anything else that you want us to know about Erika, the PR Diva? What else should we know about you that you want to leave and make sure that we follow up or stay in tune with you, or what do you want us to know?
Well, coming up, so for those that don't know, on top of the keto lifestyle and my PR lifestyle, I'm also head of PR and media relations for African Fashion Week Toronto. It's a very big Afrocentric mainstream fashion platform to help brands here in North America and also abroad around the world. And we have our virtual edition coming up September 16th to the 19th. Wow. Yes, it's going to be virtual for the first time ever, during the pandemic, unfortunately, because of the governmental regulations. We're not allowed to have a lot of people, and we get thousands of people that attend the in-house production. So we're doing it virtual this year. So we're excited to feature 20 brands, virtually. We just finished wrapping up the production and we're doing a few more productions soon. So we're going to be streaming live on YouTube as well, just like this show. And it's going to be happening September 16th to the 19th. So just follow African Fashion Week on YouTube to stay connected. Also, if you are in the media, you're a journalist or press, you want to cover this virtually, please hit me up. That's what's coming up in store. And as well, I am the co-founder of When Fashion Meets, which is a free fashion industry networking platform for fashion designers. And we've had to pivot a lot. We used to do in-house networking events here in Canada, but we're looking to go abroad. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm just trying to find our next partner city to do this event where we could have it. So I'm looking at I'm looking at Atlanta. We'll see, maybe we can bring that event out there. Also in the motherland, we're trying to scale it and have people go back to interacting in person safely and social distance. And that's another brand that I'm really trying to pick up throughout the end of this year and early next year. So that's pretty much what I'm into outside of the PR life and the lifestyle life.
Excellent, excellent. And are there opportunities for designers, private label designers, to still participate, or are you set on that? Your 20 designers?
Oh, for the African Fashion Week, yes. We actually, you know what? probably message me on the back end. I could see if you're able to produce your own video, you may be able to be a part of the programming, but we did finalize a lot of our designers. But again, I can't confirm that. I would find out in the back end if we can squeeze in another designer. We may have opportunity for 1 or 2 more, but they would have to produce their own video to showcase, almost like a mini commercial of their newest collection. And we would love to spotlight you. We're also looking for brands that are looking for that placement. We get 1 million impressions across all of our social media channels collectively. So if you are a brand looking to get exposure, we have very, very limited spots to get you featured on our programming. So please connect with me for that as well.
I love it. I was a producer for and here in Atlanta for a large scale fashion show. So I'm very in tune with a lot of design, private label designers here in Atlanta and throughout the Southeast. So I know that opportunity to have that exposure and that global exposure would be very much so sought after. So thank you so much for sharing that. I hope someone, that would not normally have that opportunity to take advantage. So this is awesome. And all of your social contact information will definitely be posted on this video episode on our YouTube channel, the BCA B2B Live YouTube channel. So excited about that. And well, that is all of my questions. I had 10 questions. I think I asked a few extras, and this has been just truly awesome for me, just so enlightening. And I'm super excited that you were able to join me, Erika. This has been wonderful. I enjoyed it.
You are amazing. Thank you so much for having me, guys. And, I just always love to end things off like, as a publicist, as a keto enthusiast, and as a serial entrepreneur, it's never too late to go after your dreams. Just make sure you put your health and wellness first, but just never put yourself in a box. It's never too late. In my 30s, I was able to control my weight. I'm still working on bettering my lifestyle. It's never too late. Just go after whatever you want and be consistent at it and don't give up. And I just wanted to end on that note. We just have to be positive and keep going and never take no for an answer.
Yes, never give up. No is just, there's how many no's does it take to get to that yes? Do not accept that. It is up to you to take that next step and make it happen. We're taking control of our lives, our livelihoods, and our entire universe to, really just be able to live our true path, our authentic selves and our authentic selves, and really just conquer the world. And, having people like you on our team is something that is just truly just priceless. So I'm just super excited. You really do serve the third pillar of what we support by making connections, but with people like you and our network of CEOs. And I'm just super excited to have you a part of that network as an expert resource. And I will continue to refer you and your services along the way. So thank you again, Erika, for being with us, the PR Diva. We are excited. And again, all of her social information will be attached to this. So please reach out to Erika and engage her in any way that serves you directly and to amplify you in your business. So again, thank you. I appreciate you, and enjoy the rest of your day, your weekend, holiday weekend coming up, and we appreciate it. Thank you again. So
amazing. God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. So thank you again for being with us at BCA B2B Live. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. It was absolutely awesome for me. I am super excited that we were able to bring this to the network. And again, just making those connections. Our passion is in supporting CEOs, founders, and helping to remove those barriers. How do we do that? We do that by making connections with expert resources from the categories of marketing, branding, public relations, and strategy being capital, with CEOs and founders. And with that, that helps to remove some of those barriers that you may have. And we love being that catalyst that can help you in business. That is really what we are passionate about to do. And that is how we serve. So I thank you again for joining us here at BCA B2B Live on YouTube for our BCA Chats episode. You all take care and thank you so much. And until next time, be well. Bye-bye.